Today on the podcast, we are talking about the NFL season in review, particularly Super Bowl. A couple of teams that just kind of showed us that they were who they were and didn't let them off the hook. And a little bit about sports betting and a few more things. Frame on 8 podcast, we are back. It's 2024. Let's get it popping. Here we go.
It's a frame of mind. The way that you think, the things that you say, shape it all. It's a frame of mind. Ways to improve the things that you do overall. It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Frame of Mind podcast. It's your boy Simbawi Nibaya Jr., a.k.a. TK, along with my man Omar Williams. We call him O, and Denise Obi. We call her D-Nice. Y'all say what's up to the peeps.
What's up, good people?
Hello.
It is another lovely Wednesday morning, and we've been gone for a minute, but you know what? We are back in the cut, and we are talking today about the NFL in review for the 2023-2024 season. Part 1, because there will be a part 2. And today we're talking Super Bowl, a couple of teams that let us down, sports betting, and a few other things. So we're going to breeze through. It'll be a special. This is probably going to be about an hour long, so buckle up, tighten up, because we got a lot to talk about. We've been gone for about a month and a half. So before we do that, you know how we do on Wednesdays. We do our affirmations, get them in and out the way. So if you've got your tablet, your pen, paper, or got to memorize, let's do this real quick so we can get right into the topics of the day. Are you ready? Here we go. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stress-less day. Today I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today all things will line up for my good. Today I'll become better than who and what I was yesterday. I am a go-getter. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it started. So, Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to jump right into it. The Chiefs and the Niners. Jump right into it. We ain't going to waste no time today. We've been gone for a while. We jump right into it. Chiefs and Niners. People might have thought there would be Baltimore and the Niners. That didn't happen. We'll talk about that too. Let's say first things first. Number one, let's not put Patrick Mahomes in the same category as Tom Brady. That's number one. You may not like it, but that's number one. Now, you may have something to say about that, but I'm going to say that right now. Stop putting him in the same category as Tom Brady. And I'm going to tell you why. And then I'm going to let O go because he got something to say.
I need to go.
I'm going to tell you why. Number one, longevity. Because Patrick Mahomes could crash after this. It's possible. It could happen. Longevity. Number two, Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls. He has 3. Stop it. And with 2 different teams. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes may have a great start to his career right now, which is probably the best start to any quarterback's career. I will give him that. But I will say this. We have to stop being creatures of the moment. Because what happens is like every big moment is like, oh, he's the greatest ever. He's the greatest ever. And it's like we don't let things kind of unfold to its full capacity. It's like we live in the microwave. Oh, it's done. He did it. We got to stop doing that. And unfortunately, the way our world is going, it's kind of like everything is kind of like that microwave generation where it's like you got to have it now. And we live in the moment of, man, he did that. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like, it's great. It is one of the greatest things, but maybe not the greatest. So my early remarks to that is longevity, 7 Super Bowls to 3. All right. And stop living in the moment. All right. Oh, the floor is yours.
You made some, first of all, before I even go, you made some awesome points, and you almost made it hard to fight it. I'm going to try to fight it, but okay, so here we go. Pat Mahomes is 28 years old. His first time starting was at 23.
True.
He's been 6 years, I think, 6 or 7 years in the league.
Six, yeah.
6, I believe.
Okay. He's been to, 5 Super Bowls?
Is
It's
it 4 or 5?
Pretty sure it's 5. Yeah.
It's 5. Okay. Go ahead. 5.
So every year but his rookie year, he's been in the Super Bowl.
Woo. No.
That's fire.
The one year
talk.
the one year the Bengals went. So he didn't go that year.
All right. So I'm sorry. Okay. 5 out of 6.
Respect my team.
I respect your team. He has 3 championships already with 3 MVPs, right? If he would have retired today, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Okay. Now, Brady has 7, and this is where like you kind of got me. Brady has 7, but Brady played till 42, 40.
Nah, 45.
So you mean to tell me my man got another 14 to 15 years to try to get 4 more?
I got a rebuttal on that, but go ahead.
14 to 15 years to get 4 more.
Okay.
Again. I'll say this. Brady's still the GOAT, but Pat Mahomes is peeking. He's peeking over the fence like I'm coming in there too. He may not get him out of the yard, but he's going to be in that yard with him. And he's the best. I think he's better at quarterback than Brady. Like actual at the position. And I'll
all around.
At actual quarterback, he's a better quarterback than Brady.
Okay.
He can do more.
All right. D-Nice, what you got?
So about the whole better than Brady, I think they're up there, but I wouldn't say better. I don't know. I wouldn't say better, but I think I do have a lot of respect for Mahomes and his career, and I don't think he's gonna wait till like he was Brady's age to retire. I think he's gonna retire earlier than that, but I think he's gonna be a number 1 contender until he's like, all right, I'm done. So he has a lot more in him, a lot more fuel in the tank. I have a lot of respect for him. No matter if I'm an Eagles fan, no matter if I wanted the 49ers to win or not, I still have a lot of respect for him. And I know he still has a lot of fuel in the tank. So we'll see.
Okay. So make no mistake, I am not disrespecting Patrick Mahomes at all. So those of you listening, I'm not hating. I'm not disrespecting. I respect the man. I respect what he does. And he is definitely on that echelon. Like Patrick Mahomes is here and everybody else is trying to catch up. I will say this. It's my own opinion. Y'all can say I'm biased if you want to. Joe Burrow is going to be that guy that's going to come after him. Because this is the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to make a big point. In Joe Burrow's 4 seasons, first year he got injured, Bengals didn't make the playoffs. The next 2 seasons, they go to the Super Bowl and almost go back and almost beat the Chiefs again to get back there. 4th season, he gets hurt this year. They missed the playoffs. So if Joe Burrow is healthy all 4 years, we got a rivalry on our hands big time. Does Patrick Mahomes make it those times other than that one chance that Burrow was there? I don't know. That's speculation. But I believe that Joe Burrow, to me, is that good, that he's that critical to the Bengals, that they could actually make a run.
He's good.
at the Super Bowl every single year as long as he's healthy all year long. With that said, I think that if anyone can be compared to Tom Brady in this day and age, it's definitely Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. My only thing is that, my points again, living in the moment, longevity, and the fact that it's 7-3. Now, you made a great point. He's got 14 more years left. I doubt he plays that long, 14 more years. He has time to still get 7. My only question is, here's the thing. They said if he gets 5,
He's the GOAT.
he's definitely in the conversation. He can be considered the GOAT.
They want to
Here's
go
the thing,
already.
though.
Yeah.
If you look at the NBA, MJ is considered the GOAT. He's undefeated in the finals. Bill Russell has 11, but MJ is considered the GOAT. So it's where's the slope at? You know what I mean? Because go ahead, where's the slope at?
So that's a
Good
great.
point,
I'm glad
yeah.
you brought that up. But I feel like, honestly, Brady to me is more like the Russell type of player, and Mahomes is more like the Jordan type of player.
Okay.
Right? Like, Brady's the man, but like, he's not overwhelming. It's like Tim Duncan, one of the best power forwards of all time, but like he's not LeBron James, but he's one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
some players just have the it, and I think Mahomes has it. Again, we're not going to do. I got to put some respect on Brady's name. He got 7. That's almost impossible to do. It's
And two different teams.
In 2 different teams. But they're saying if Mahomes goes back to back to back and wins, which nobody has done yet, you got to crown him.
Listen, I'm not gonna say that's not the case.
You
If they win 3 in a row, there is a legit argument to say, okay, who's the greatest? And then you may have that point where you say, okay, who's the greatest in their quote unquote era? When it comes to football, there are layers to it, but I'll say this. Tom Brady, when it was Tom Brady, it was coming up, it was, Joe Montana's the guy.
Right.
Joe Montana won 4 Super Bowls. He's never lost one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady won 7, and he kind of accomplished more than Joe Montana did. Now, again, Montana, great run with the 49ers, right? But Brady's resume kind of outdid his, and he won more Super Bowls.
Right.
Mahomes is that guy that's now kind of like, hey, he's coming up a little faster. He's younger, under 30 years old, got 3 rings. It's a possibility he get a 3rd one next year, possibility. We don't know yet. We'll see. But my points still stand. Made a great point. He made a great point that he has time to still win 7. That's a 100% legit point. My only rebuttal to that is that I believe Joe Burrow, if he stays healthy, is going to get in his way. Because Joe Burrow going to win. He's going to win. He's going to win probably 2 or 3 himself, I believe. That's just my opinion. I don't think Josh Allen, he may get 1. I don't think he may get more than 1. Lamar.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let's just jump to Lamar real quick. Because number 1, I know, look, we're going to jump around today, but we're going to have a good conversation. Lamar Jackson, more than likely, is going to get the MVP of the league this year, right? More than likely, hands down MVP. Before the season started, people were saying, hey, the Baltimore Ravens have a chance to get Super Bowl and win. As the season went on, people said, hey, Baltimore is like they're going to go there and win it. And I said time and time again, go back to September, and we talked about it. I said, I do not see the Baltimore Ravens getting to the Super Bowl, let alone the AFC Championship game. I said, but if they end up getting to one or the other, they're likely not going to win because Lamar Jackson is going to do something to give the game away. Fumble the ball away, throw an interception, something. Go back to that AFC title game. What did Lamar Jackson do? He threw an interception in the red zone and triple coverage.
Yeah.
That, not to mention, they only scored 10 points when during the season they averaged, 30?
Yeah.
That can't happen.
They were the best team by far in the season.
Best team by far, defensively and offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I'm not throwing shade on Lamar Jackson. For all of you out there who are African-American, Black, don't say I'm hating on Lamar Jackson because he didn't win. the facts are the facts. Like, there has to be a point where, hey, we've given you everything you've needed to get this done. Now it's on you to get it done. You're our guy. You're not the guy that has to run all the time. You have time in the pocket to throw. And again, I can't play quarterback in the NFL. I can't. Like, that's not something I can do. But the eye test tells you everything. And Lamar Jackson's track record said he is going to turn the ball over one way or the other when it matters and when it counts. That's exactly what happened. Any thing you guys want to say on that for Lamar Jackson?
I said I
You
give
got
now. I
something,
owe that. Yeah.
Okay. No, you brought up the don't get mad at me for talking about the black quarterback, but I've
Right.
been doing it. It's like an inside joke with me and some other friends. Like, I say all the time, I do not like I say running quarterbacks, but I say black to be funny.
Right.
But I don't mean that. I don't mean that at all. I just think when it comes to certain times of the year in the playoffs, when teams get better and the coaching gets better, I just think you have to be a little bit more sound with the football. You can't turn the ball over, and you have to have certain skill sets that get you out of trouble, because the defenses, they can just make you become one dimensional. If they're like, okay, if we're scared of his legs, well, we'll just take those away from him and make him beat us with his arm. And I just think that he's proven time and time again when they go and get, like, when you really have to show and prove, he cannot do it.
Yeah.
And he's one of the greatest players you've ever seen, but he just can't get over the hump. He just can't do it. So,
Saying
yeah,
in
man.
like 2024 terms, he choked, basically. That's what I would say. He did. He choked.
I mean, most people said that it
Yeah.
was a choke job. It's
It
kind of
was a
like
choke.
you got there and you had the game in hand to a degree that you weren't up big, but you were winning, and it just turned the other way.
Right.
I mean, my thing is, here's my thing, and I'm going to now put it back to Patrick Mahomes. When you look at Lamar Jackson, my strong belief is that when the game is on the line and a play needs to be made, you need to make it. Whether it's a pass or it's a run. And there were plenty of times in that fourth quarter, Lamar Jackson could have taken off and ran. And I'm like, why are you sitting in the pocket? I'm like, run.
Right.
You have a lane. Take it. Run. And it seemed as though he was saying, no, I'm going to prove to y'all I can pass the ball and win the game.
Yep.
You ain't got to prove nothing. Just win. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, fourth quarter Super Bowl, in overtime, what did he do?
Start running
He
the
said,
ball.
I'm not going to pass the ball.
Right.
You gave me a lane, I'm running.
Running it. Yep.
And he ran the ball twice, got them down there to the red zone for a score. Do what needs to be done to win the game. Like, that's the bottom line. And I believe that Lamar was doing that early in his career, but it's like they wanted to make him a passing quarterback, which is fine. Quarterbacks pass the ball. But when you look at what needs to be done to win the game, whether you're handing the ball off, you're scrambling as a quarterback, you're passing, dipping and dodging, hitting the unders, or you're hitting somebody long, going across the middle, do what needs to be done to win the game. Like, proving to everyone you can win the game is like, hey, I'm gonna do what needs to be done to win it. And that's how I look at it. So that's my only thing with Lamar Jackson. And I do hope he does get one, because it would be sad if you looked at the past MVPs of the league. You have Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes, Drew Brees, and I forget who I think, Peyton Manning, all those guys, all the past maybe 10 to 12, or so MVPs of the league. All of them have a Super Bowl except Lamar.
Wow.
So all the quarterbacks in the past 10 to 12 years who have been MVPs of the league have at least a Super Bowl win, except
for
Lamar Jackson.
He hasn't even been to the Super Bowl.
No.
Wow.
This year was the year everyone thought was going to happen. I'm kind of like, I don't see it, because this is his track record tells me he's going to do something to turn the ball over, and that's exactly what he did. So, love you, brother. I'm like, but we got to get to that next level, man. Like, you have the team, and again, I can't play the quarterback position in the NFL. That's not me. I'm like, I never would even attempt to. But again, the eye test, it doesn't lie, man. It just doesn't lie. Speaking of teams that had some meltdowns this season, let's talk about Eagles. Eagles.
Gosh,
Oh, I know.
the
I know.
meltdowns.
We'll come back to Super Bowl later down in the show. Super Bowl, we'll come back to that later. But the team that went last year, that was dominant and did what needed to get done, came up short, but also was dominant last year. It showed signs of it this year. I'm gonna let you guys take this because this is you guys' teams. I'm gonna let you guys take this. This is all I'm gonna say is that the Eagles were 10-1 at one point, right? 10-1, and I'm gonna say my man Shannon Sharp said. Shannon Sharp said he said this when they were 10-1. He said you cannot accept in a loss what you will accept in a win. And what happened was there were things in the Eagles' offense and defense that were problematic, and they didn't fix those things because they were winning. And when they started losing, it magnified what was wrong. And what happened was they didn't fix those things. So, as fans of the Eagles, what do you guys have to say about this? Because this is what everyone called it a meltdown, and so we're kind of like, man, what happened to the Eagles? My own opinion, and I'll let you guys take it. I think I won't say believe. When I say believe, I'm like, hey, I believe strongly. I think that the head coach might be losing the locker room. That's my opinion, but I'll let y'all go.
All right. Well, I'll set it off. So I watched every single game from the beginning to the end, right? And if you watched every week, like I watched every week, when they were 10-1, if you watched them, they were more like a 6-5, 5-6 team.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like they got lucky. Kansas City dropped balls. Other teams dropped balls or got turned. Like it was just bad football all the way to 10-1, and I just think it caught up to them. Like Shannon Sharp, that statement he made. It's not if you win, it's how you win, right? Like they won terribly for 10 weeks. It was horrible wins. But they were 10-1. Also, I think Nick Sirianni did lose the locker room. I just think whatever his shtick is, it didn't go over well after a while. It's like when you're winning, things are acceptable. When you're losing, now we're pointing out how Jalen Hurts doesn't talk on the sidelines. When we were winning, it was, oh man, look at him. He's got ice water in his veins, right?
Yeah.
He's so focused. Well, now when you're losing, he looks like he don't even care. He's so lethargic. You know what I mean? So I just believe we weren't as good as we looked the first 11 games of the season. I also don't think we're as bad as we became. And I don't think we were that bad either. I think things just it's a game of momentum, and you start losing the locker room, and ideologies change where the quarterback's not seeing eye to eye with the guy calling the plays, and that's hard to play for if you don't believe in what the coach is calling.
Yeah,
I mean, you played sports. I don't know if you ever had that before, but I know when I played, we used to hate the way the offensive coordinator called the game. It was like, why are you running this play? It gets 3 yards every time. And we got guys that could get 50-yard touchdowns. Why are you doing this? So it would be hard to block. You just didn't give it your all because you didn't believe in it. But if you believed in it's like,
wow.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you just, and because we're human. Athletes are human, man. It's like, I hate this play. So if you hate the play, you're not going to give 100%. Wide receivers are not going to run routes right. They're just going to go out there, push the guy, and then, then go backwards. So I say all that to say, and my last point, I'm going to tie this into Lamar Jackson. I think when you pay a quarterback $250 million, they want him to look like Pat Mahomes because you cannot have a $250 million man handing the ball off. Simple as that. it's a business. At the end
It's
of
a
the day, it
business.
is a business, and I can't pay a man. Imagine paying the CEO of a company $800 million, and all he's doing is typing emails and getting coffee. It's
Right.
like, no, I didn't pay you for that, brother.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's the same difference of I can't have a $250 million quarterback handing the ball off every play. So we got to throw it 50 times a game. And when you do that, you get exposed as Jalen. I'm sorry, you're not a 50 time a game passer.
Mm.
That's my time.
I'll say I can't talk in his contract because I'm a very big fan of his agent, Agent Nicole Lynn. So if you ever watch this, I'm a
Me
fan
too.
of her.
Me too.
She's one
Me
of the best
too.
in the league. Just have to get that out there. So I can't argue contract, but definitely we did lose in the locker room, and I think them firing I think it was the offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, that that was kind of
Yeah.
like one thing that a lot of people wanted to see. And so now I'm like, how are we gonna do this season with that? So we'll see with that part. Um I think we didn't utilize Devontae a lot this year than we should have, which caused us a lot of wins, but it caused us a lot of losses in the games that we especially won. Because he's here. There was so many times in so many games where I'm like, Devontae's wide open. Devontae's wide open. What is going on?
Mm.
So it's like a lot of the games where the passion was there, but the connection and the reading the field and the playing was not there. So it was like we were watching two different games. So like Jalen Hurts was watching one game, Devontae was seeing another game, and I think the fans were like, "What's going on? Like, what's that shift there?" And that's what
Yeah.
caused a lot of the downfall in the wins and the losses. So we'll see, but I don't know. I'm expecting better next season. Praying Kelsey comes back next season just for one more season. I was watching him at the Super Bowl, and he looked like he's like, I have one more in him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Kelsey's done.
I don't know. He was at the Super Bowl, and he at the end when they showed him at the celebration, he looked around like maybe one more time. Maybe I should get one more shot. So we'll see about that.
He got it. They got to move on from the
but
play.
I think we need some more. I think one thing that we also do need is to get more like beefy defensive players, because I feel like a lot of our defensive guys aren't stocky, or like they can just get pummeled over by a lot of these bigger defensive guys.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, well, I have a 6'4", 250-pound defender, and the Eagles have this like 6'2", 175 defender. Use that to my advantage. So it's kind of like there's so many different things that we could change now in the off season to help us. So we'll see.
Okay. So I think we all could agree that Dick Sirianni has probably lost that locker room. We can all agree on that.
Yeah,
I can agree. Yeah, I'm with it. It's not that they can't get. I think they can get mended though. But okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yep.
No. I mean, and that's not saying he needs to get fired. It's just, hey, season's over. Let's regroup. You know what I mean? So, I think the firing of the OC was critical because again, if you look at Jalen Hurts' career, it's very rare from high school to Oklahoma, Alabama to the NFL where he had the same OC, in consecutive years.
Right.
And when that happened last year, we saw what happened, right? Same in consecutive years. Oh, okay. Now we see the Jalen Hurts that we knew because we had questions about, man, can Jalen Hurts be the quarterback of this team? And, it wasn't 100% his fault, 100% his fault. It wasn't really even 50-50 his fault. It was more the fact that he had a different offense every single year from high school, college to the NFL. So that played a factor too. And I think to O's point with his demeanor on the field or off the field, he had the same demeanor last year when they were winning than he did this year when they started losing. Like his demeanor didn't change. It just got the spotlight was put on it because they were losing. It's kind of like, oh, well, now Jalen Hurts, he's not really in the game. But no, Jalen Hurts is the same guy he was last year. Like he's not a big rah-rah guy. Like he just kind of like, all right, cool. Game's over. We won. Great. Let's keep it moving. So all in all, I think the Eagles They will be okay, but there are some changes that need to be made over there. Hopefully, whoever's the OC from who took over this year will be there next year, and they don't have to try to hire someone else or have someone be interim. Because then again, you're putting yourself back in the same position you were previously of changing the offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts. So, the other team I wanted to talk about from a meltdown standpoint, and you guys can feel free to kind of push back on this for me, is well, not necessarily a meltdown. I think it was more of just a bad decision made, and this is just my opinion, and that would be the Cleveland Browns. And I say that for this reason. Deshaun Watson got paid a ton of money. And coming out of Houston, you hadn't really seen what he had done since then. And so you pay him all this money, then he gets hurt in Cleveland. Now all of a sudden he's back. And then you have this so-called quarterback controversy with Flacco coming in to play. Now, of course, Flacco, he's on his way out the league. Like, we all know that. But the guy can still play. He was good enough to get them where they had to go. And unfortunately, once you get film on someone who is quote-unquote a backup, they kind of show you who they are, and you can kind of plan for them now. And that's what happened to Flacco. But the Browns had a good team this year. Good team, defensive-wise. Even offensively, they had the guys. But is Deshaun Watson the guy to get them where they're trying to go? Because it wasn't necessarily a meltdown for Cleveland. I just think it was a bad decision to pay him that much money coming into Cleveland. And I think right now we're seeing it backfire in a big way. And I'm not sure if Deshaun Watson is going to come through on his end of the bargain, getting paid to be that guy to help Cleveland get where they have to go. Any thoughts on that?
All right, can I go first on this one? Okay.
Yeah, you definitely.
Before you go, hold on. Before you go, again, I am not hating
On black quarterbacks.
another black quarterback. Okay, I'm just saying the facts are the facts, truth the truth. And I'm just saying that's all I'm doing.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Go.
So this is like including him, but I feel like every time I see a team pay a quarterback, running back, whatever, a specific amount of money, and then maybe the contracts for 10, 15 years, he just the season just goes haywire.
He disappears.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, the dollar
Yeah,
signs
buddy.
come, whether he's chasing the money or not, the dollar signs kind of get in the head, the dollar signs come out of nowhere, and then it's like, all right, now it's your time, it's showtime, and it's like freezes, or they get injured, or something happens, and it's like, when I need you to be there, you're not there. Versus when we do a 5-year contract for maybe half that, okay, let's renew it, then it's a different story. And that's just my take. That's what I see a lot of. These 10-year, we need to have a Roger Goodell. We need to check into that. Have a max on how much we're going to put these contracts for, because that's a key factor in some of these players. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
I would definitely agree.
I agree too. I agree. I'll add to that. I'm gonna come back to that money thing, but like the Browns, I think some organizations are just bad.
True.
And it's just until they change the culture or whatever that culture is, it's going to be bad seasons after bad seasons. Now again, they made the playoffs this year. Did they make the playoffs? No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. Okay.
They were there in the hunt, and then
They were there, right?
Because
They were
I think when they lost that last game, they kind of were almost in control of their own destiny.
Right.
So,
but like, I just think bad organizations continuously just do bad moves. They paid a man, again, he another $250 million guy, right? After getting in trouble, and it's like, why him of all people? Let's take out. He's a good player, but did he deserve that contract? I don't know. Get your money, young
I believe
fella.
Watson was 230. 230, I believe.
230.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just think bad organizations, until they change the culture or they change the ownership or how they run things, they're going to always be bad forever. Even if they get close to tasting success, something's going to happen, right? And back to this money thing, and it's not that we're picking on. See, it seems like we're picking on the brothers,
Right.
but I'm a even it out. Carson Wentz, he got paid to something, 100 something,
Yeah.
and I don't know what happened to him either.
Yep.
But this is my theory. I think what happens is, imagine somebody putting a guaranteed 100 million in your pocket, and you made it. All this hard work, all this dedication, all this long nights, long early mornings, muscle lifting, running sprints, practicing film, and then they write you a check for $250. I just think, again, they're holding us. They're human. You've made it. You took care of your children's children at that point.
Mm.
And there's something in you that goes, it finally paid off, and it reflects in play. And that's my theory. I could be wrong. You got it, Denise.
No, I was saying I agree, and because I
Okay.
think Deion Sanders, he said that's one of the reasons why he doesn't want to coach in the NFL. He said there's too
Oh.
much money involved, and like the players aren't as hungry. He said yes,
Yeah.
there's the NIL deals down, but one, not every player is getting that, and two, he said it's not the same because like you have these players who are paying $250, 280, almost $400,000, million a year, and it's kind of like, so once they get that, it's like, well,
It's like I've made it. It's
I
over.
made it, like
I beat the game.
whatever. And so it's
I
different.
beat the
Yeah.
game. It is.
Yeah, I mean that's a big problem with the NFL. And again, it's a man's league. It's a profession. It's a business.
It's a business.
We get it. But again, to Denise's point, you see this guy get these big contracts, and all of a sudden it's like, well, where's the game?
Yeah.
What happened when you were still trying to get the bag, as we call it, the bag? You know what I mean? Now that you got the bag, it's like, oh, well, you know, I ain't gonna do nothing else. I agree. It should be some adjustments made to how much you get, because there's the deal itself. Then there's the guaranteed money. But then when you do this, then you can get the whole bag. And so you're like, well, look, 230 mil. If I'm guaranteed to, like, oh, I'm good. If I don't get the other 30 mil, okay, I got 200. You know, and so me personally, I know there could definitely be I made it kind of moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you have people in your circle that can help you learn that, hey, this money can be here today and gone tomorrow, what are you going to do to be like, hey, I got the bag. I'm like, let me keep this bag, do something with it. If they desire to give me more, because I keep working hard, hey, I could even get more money. Now, again, we're not pushing to be money hungry, but again, these guys put their bodies on the line every day. Their bodies are constantly, you know, one player, a lot of players have said, it's like when you're out there in the field and you're colliding with guys, it's like getting into 10 car accidents on a weekly basis. That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Right.
And so getting your money and securing your family, yes, that's a big thing. You want to do that. You want to be able to take care of generations. Of course, take care of your immediate family as well. But I think that when the lack of effort comes into play, that you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting your team in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes problematic. And again, a lot of money to be made in the NFL, a lot of money is changing. I do want to take a little break here because when we get to the second half of this, which will be about a good 20 or so minutes, I want to talk a little bit about sports betting and a little bit, because after the day, we ain't talking about it no more. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. We'll be right back. Are you looking for an apparel company that's positive, uplifting, and truly cares about you? Then look no further. Frame of Mind Inc. An apparel brand company impresses on individuals to think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. Get positive apparel such as t-shirts, hoodies, and wristbands for children, teens, and adults in various colors and sizes. Customized services include logo and t-shirt design, screen printing for individuals, families, schools, profit, and nonprofit organizations. You can reach Frame of Mind Inc. at 302-689-3499 or visit their website at www.frameofmindinc.com. Frame of Mind Inc. Think it, speak it, achieve it.
It's a frame of mind.
All right, welcome back to the show. Before we left, we were talking about Super Bowl, the Chiefs and Niners, the Eagles and their kind of meltdown of the season, the Browns' bad decision with paying Deshaun Watson. We believe just too much money before things are kind of looking like they're going to kind of collapse. We still have time to find out what that looks like. And now we're going to just talk a little bit more. I want to get into the sports betting talk because actually, you know what? Let's reverse that. Let's do Taylor Swift and Kelsey so we can get that over and done with. All right, let's just do that, get it over and done with. All right. So these are my thoughts, and then you guys can kind of chime in. I think, and I can almost say I believe, and I could be wrong, and I hope they do prove me wrong. I believe it's all a publicity stunt. I believe that it's like, hey, I got this new album about to come out. Travis Kelce may be looking to get some more popularity out there. I don't know. Again, I'm speculating, okay? But it seems as though the NFL was much more interested in Taylor Swift than they were any game the Chiefs were playing in or any game in the NFL, period, once she started showing up. And again, I get it. It's all about what's the big news or whatever, right? And so my biggest question is this something that's going to last or is it just a publicity stunt? I don't know. But I believe the coverage on Taylor Swift is just too much. It's just too much. And I get the woman has done a phenomenal job with her career, starting from where she was to where she is now. And much respect to her. It just felt like it, and then now it's just like now everything is about, oh, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift did this. Oh, this did that. And it's kind of like, are we talking about Super Bowl? Or we're talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? Like, which one is it? And so my own opinion is it just seems like it's just too much. And I'm kind of wondering, where are they going with this? Is it real love? Real love? Or is it just kind of like, just one of those things that, hey, let's do this. Let's bump our fans up. Let's promote your album, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll have some fallout at the end and we'll call it a day. What do you guys think?
I think it's both. I think it's real love, and I think again back to this business thing. And if the NFL jumped on the opportunity and they never let it go. And then they said I don't know how they tracked it, but they said Taylor Swift made the NFL like $300 billion, something like that. So like once those numbers came in, it's like paying to her every time we can. Anytime she's dancing, anytime she's cheering, anytime she's hugging somebody, we're going to Taylor Swift because why? She is generating revenue. She has the Swifties wearing Kansas City jerseys. So as much as it annoyed me, I understand. And again, I do believe, I think it's real. I do. I don't, because I saw the man's mom and father around her. Like, I don't think the parents, that's my opinion. I could be wrong because they fooled us before. But I think it's real. But I think the NFL took opportunity to exploit a situation and it worked. That's my opinion.
Okay. Denise?
I think it's a publicity stunt. I don't think it's real. I don't think none of that. This was I think it's publicity stunt. I was talking to somebody yesterday during the award ceremony. I counted about 21 times during Travis Kelce speaking when he was holding the Lombardi trophy, they panned right to her about 21 times. And I'm like,
20.
what did Travis even say during the whole speech? Because they're looking at her.
Mm,
It is a publicity stunt.
mm,
I think it is to generate more younger fans, especially for the NFL, especially like for jersey content, everything,
mm.
and to make them both look good. Um, I won't be surprised if by next season, say they're not doing well, the Chiefs aren't doing well, and they're like, oh, sorry we broke up, and then she makes a whole album about him, about karma,
Oh man, you got the whole
and
thing out.
Karma is the guy on the Chiefs. Look, I work with kids who are Swifties, and I just listen. So, well, I think it's a publicity stunt, and it's not. I don't see it lasting. And if it does, I
I
don't
mean,
see it lasting. Still,
like I said,
I still don't see
I
that
hope they
lasting.
prove me wrong. I hope so, and if not, then okay. We kind of saw this with Jessica Simpson and Tony Romo, right? So
Oh
Right?
it's like
yeah,
when Dallas
Yeah.
started losing,
same play ran,
you couldn't find Jessica, couldn't find her.
but she wasn't a
So
Swiftie. She
no,
wasn't
she wasn't.
Swift. Yeah, she's different than
No,
Swift.
but this is
Different.
this is
Different.
this is this is around the remake of Dukes of Hazzard and all that. So
Ooh,
she was a hot
y'all on to
commodity
Right.
right
something.
there. So I'm just
Taylor
saying. I'm
Swift.
just saying. So, I will say this, and we'll move on to sports betting. It's very interesting to me that when remember in the Super Bowl when Travis Kelce bum rushed Andy Reid,
Yeah,
he
they
bum
didn't
rushed him, right?
they didn't talk about it at all, did they?
It didn't really get talked
Nope.
about, and nobody put the camera
On Swift.
on
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Matter of fact, we didn't find out about it until after the commercial break that Travis Kelce did that.
That's
Right?
true.
I'm just saying. That's all I got to say.
It's all a publicity stunt.
I just think the
That's what it is. It's
NFL
all
sees
publicity.
opportunities and exploits them. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, they go together. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring them in a room like, look, guys, I don't know what this is, but I need y'all for at least a season.
Yeah.
You might just be
Right.
friends, but just give me a season. Let's make it work. We'll make it like a reality TV show.
There you go. Oh, don't do that. Please don't.
We don't know it, but they
Please
know.
don't.
Not like his dating
Huh?
show. I would say because he had a dating show. I
Oh,
think it
he
was Chasing
did,
Kelsey.
didn't he?
Like when he first started in the
Mm.
NFL, and he was trying to make money, and I was like,
He might be trying to set his career up
I
after
don't know.
football. I'm just, there's a lot you can talk about there, but we're not gonna go there.
It's
All
true
right.
love, man. It's true love.
Let's hope so. All right. So for all of you out there, this is the first and last time we'll talk about this. If they break up, we'll mention it, and that's it. We ain't gonna have no segment on it. Okay. So don't look for it to happen again. All right. Sports betting. Last topic. Sports betting. I'm pretty sure it's generating a lot of money for the NFL. The contracts they have with all these sports betting companies and agencies. The thing that I find very interesting is that, sports betting wasn't necessarily, something that it was frowned upon in years past, unless you're in Vegas and you're there, but anywhere else it's kind of like, hey, that's not the greatest thing to do. It's not something that you should be doing. And now it's pushed 24/7, sports betting on all things, basketball, football, baseball, whatever. And the interesting thing that I find is that when they have these commercials about sports betting, whether it's on radio, podcasts, TV, whatever, it's like, hey, if you have a betting problem, call this number. And then they tell you, don't forget to bet on this one and on this team. It's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, time out, hold up, wait. You just said if you have a betting problem, call this number, get help. But then you still continue to promote sports betting. And so, again, I know the money out there is great. The NFL saw an opportunity to make more money. There are a number of people out there that say that particularly the NFL and NBA are scripted, right? So I believe there's truth in that, but I don't believe that it's 100% true. Meaning there's truth in it. I don't believe it's 100% true. And I'm gonna say this because I saw this today that the New York Knicks and the Houston Rockets game. I think it was Houston Rockets,
That was horrible.
and there was a foul call at the
That was
end of
horrible.
regulation. And I saw the play, and I'm like, that is not
Yeah.
a foul. Did you see the guy is leaning back, throwing
it
a
was bad.
one-hand three-point
bad.
shot, leaning. I'm like, number one, this is a horrible shot he's taking. Number two, Jalen Brunson barely touches him, jumping towards him. And I'm like, you're going to call a foul at that part of the game. The game was tied, so it was going to go into overtime. Mind you, the same referee made a similar call in a game earlier in this season. I forget what game it was. They said it was a similar call. My question is this referee in on some of the sports betting? Because we saw what happened years ago with I forget his name right now off the top of my head.
Donaghy.
Referee Donaghy, yes. And there's a Netflix documentary out on him. If you want to go look at that, it's a great documentary looking at how all that happened. And my question is, some of these, even in the NFL, some of these calls are being made. Because what happened was the official that wasn't officiating the game, but he was an official from New York or whatever, said looking back at it that the foul should have never been called. But that doesn't help the New York Knicks now because now they lose on 2 free throws before the game is over. And now it's like these bad calls that are being made by these refs. I'm like, are they actually making bad calls because they're just not seeing well? Or are you in on something bigger than what's going on? What are your thoughts?
I think that 1,000%. I just think that ref got caught up in it. Like, if you saw that documentary, they'll say like, okay, if the Knicks are a 5-point favorite and they want to take the other side, they'll call fouls. You know what I mean? They'll be like very touchy on fouls in the beginning of the game so that the game can at least stay close enough to where we got a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But calling a play like that, the end of the game, it was tied up and he was going to miss. He almost made the three. I don't know if you saw it. He almost made the three. And to call that play, I don't know, man. He clearly had the other team winning with the points. Because they mentioned it on the broadcast. They said the Knicks were a 2-point underdog. So, not underdog, I'm sorry. They were a 2-point favorite. But I think your point about scripted, though, I do believe the leagues want a narrative. They have who they want to be the teams, who they want to be the players of the league, who they want to succeed. I do think there is something true to that. But in game, I don't think they're like pulling the strings like, okay, on this play you get hurt, and on this game,
right.
Embiid you'll score 70, and in that game, I don't think it's that deep. I don't.
Right.
But I do think they want Embiid to be one of the stars.
Yeah,
I believe that. So,
Denise, go ahead.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's like reality TV. Like they have to have some type of script or narrative to really draw the crowd. Like they can't just record and say, "Oh, just take whatever we have." Because if we don't have enough content for the fans to attract fans, then it's like, well, we need to do something else. So I definitely agree with it being.
Well, let's not forget that professional sports is entertainment.
For sure.
It is a sport. It's a profession.
Right.
It's a business.
Wrestling.
But it is entertainment.
Yep.
So if you're going to entertain people, you want your best entertainers to be out there, right?
Yep.
So, again, it's not necessarily us guessing. Like it's out there. It's out there. The question is like how deep does it go? Like O said, it's not like okay, you're gonna get hurt in this play, or you're gonna throw the ball off so and so's leg or turn it over. But you've got your quote unquote point shavers. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got referees that make calls that kind of make the game what it is. And then for me, the bottom line for me is when you have players that buy into that. Me personally, if I was playing in the NBA, I'm like, dude, I want to win. I'm like, bottom line, I don't care what the script is. I want to win. They can find me, whatever they want to do. I'm like, I'm not here to get someone else a win. And that's just me. Because number one, I don't like to lose. First of all. Second of all, I'm like, well, why can't we win? Like, why can't we be that team? You know? So, and that, again, that's just me. So I don't necessarily care for the promotion of sports betting. I get why they do it. It's almost like casinos. It's like, hey, they make the city more money or whatever. It makes more money for people. I get it. But, I think in the long run for the quote unquote little people, it's hurting that crowd of people because it just becomes addictive. You know what I mean? If you get caught up in it, it becomes a big problem. So, and again, it's affecting the integrity of the game for sports. And again, that's my opinion. You have your own opinions about it, but I kind of want to talk about that real quick to see where our thoughts were on that. So.
Get your mind right. Get your mind right. It's a frame of mind.
Before we go, we said it's going to be about an hour special today. So before we go, any last final thoughts you guys want to say before we go on any subject, any topic we talked about today? Super Bowl, Eagles, Browns, or anything else you want to kind of put out there before we go? Because this is part one. We got part two coming later, just a review of the entire season. But any other last thoughts?
I'll finish off. My last thought will be: teams stop paying players too soon. Let them prove it a little bit longer than they do. Like you have one good season and they back up the truck and pay. They'll give you $300 million for one good season. I don't think that's good for the team. I don't think that's good for the player. I don't even think that's good for the organization. So let's just relax on the money. But get your money, young fella. If they can negotiate the deal, hey, take it. So I don't knock it. That's my last point.
Okay. Denise?
To the Swiftie fans, please remember it's all about football, not you guys. It's all about football. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise, for reminding the Swifties it's not about them. It's about the
You're
NFL.
welcome.
And it's not even about Taylor Swift, even though they're making it about her, but it's all good. It's all good. My last word is this. I think I have to agree with Omar, though. Don't get me wrong. Patrick Mahomes got paid early, but he also won a Super Bowl and consistently went back to the AFC Championship.
It was a
So they
team-friendly
saw
deal.
something there. You know what I mean? They saw something there to be like, hey, this guy could be our guy for a long time.
Right.
When you're paying guys after 1 or 2 years or a season where they really did well, and we're not going to name names, but it's just not a good look. You know what I mean? It's not a good look. And for the players who are getting their money and are getting their bag, I'm like, don't give us your C effort after you get the bag. Like, continue to work hard. Continue to show young people that, hey, you work hard until it's over. And when that's over, hey, you move on to the next thing. So I think, because whether or not you believe it or not, you are a role model. I don't care what Charles Barkley says. Okay? You are a role model. Whether you like it or not, you are a role model for all young people and everybody else who wish they could do what you did, but never got the opportunity. So, and surround yourself with people in your circle that are going to help you do the right thing with your money and the right thing with your career and how hard you work at getting that done. So, with that said, Thanks for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. We are back in the cut. You can always catch us on all platforms, on Spotify, Apple, even on our own website, ffmpodcast.com. You can subscribe to that. You can also get the replays video-wise on our Facebook page. Our Instagram page gives you kind of a preview and review and some things coming up that we're going to do. And on our YouTube page, Frame of Mind Inc. Channel, get the video replays. And not every Wednesday, but twice a month. Twice a month, we'll be on giving you guys some great content. Thanks for hanging in there with us. A lot of you said, hey, when's another podcast coming? Well, here you go. We're back in the cut. So for Denise, and myself, continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. And until next time, NFL Review Part 2, we holla. Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.